Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. We'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I assume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, advise that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Kathleen Burrell. Morning, Ms. Burrell. What's your date of birth?
8/31/83.
All right, ma'am, you're here on a charge of grand theft. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, and it looks like you have an open case already.
Yeah, we're in the middle of trying to get that solved.
Okay. Very good. All right, well, what we're going to do then is on this case, I'm going to set a schedule bond, which is $2,000. I'll move it to the 2nd of July, which is where your other case is. But then,
Yes.
Job number one when you're out on bond is don't pick up new charges. It appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in 18 CF 1017. We're going to hold you without bond on that case. So you're not going anywhere at least until the 2nd of July. That's when both of your cases will be back in court. The public defender will come see you before you go to court, and you can either get the cases resolved or you can ask Judge Toner to reinstate your bond. But you'll be in jail until the 2nd, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It's like you knew. Stephen Costa. Morning, Stephen. What's your date of birth?
10/24/81.
Stephen, I have two issues for you today. The first is an arrest for driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that. The second is a writ of bodily attachment, which means that a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determine that you owed some child support. As to the criminal charge of driving on a suspended license, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. And state what kind of history you have.
Judge, I don't show any criminal history, maybe some traffic stuff out of Jasper.
Okay. Okay. He's got a lot of tickets. Oh, he's got some prior dwellers. 8:15. Okay. Stephen, I have an address for you on Croom Road. Is that where you live?
No.
Okay, where do you live now?
17732 Corpus Christi Drive.
Okay, how long have you been there?
Over a year.
You have a job these days?
No.
All right, on the driving on a suspended license, I'll leave the bond at the $500. That's coming back on the 18th of July. On the child support, Stephen, how long has it been since you worked?
A couple years.
Okay. Do you have a disability or an injury of some kind?
No.
I'm going to, as to the child support, I'm going to find you're in contempt for failing to pay child support. Sanction for that will be 10 days in the county jail, or until you come up with $100 cash. If you can come up with $100, you can get out of jail. And either way, if you wind up doing the 10 days or you come up with $100, when you're out of jail, you need to contact the folks at Child Support Enforcement, because if you don't talk to them about this and try to get it squared away, they're going to repeat the process and you're going to get arrested again, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
What about my hold in Hamilton?
I see that that's there, but I don't have anything to do with that. My guess is they're going to see if you're able to bond out here. If you do, then they'll bring that to first appearance tomorrow, I would think.
So I have another first appearance tomorrow?
If you take care of everything here, then you may have a first appearance on that hold out of Hamilton. They didn't serve any warrant on you, so I see there's a hold out of Hamilton, but it's not pending yet because you got local charges. Thank you.
Okay, so
Roberto Gomez. Well, Mr. Gomez, what's your date of birth?
1684.
All right, Roberto, I have 4 charges today: possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon, and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for all 4. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, he has a burnt structure or grand theft from 2003. He has a battery on detention facility person from 2003. He has possession of controlled substance from 2016.
And Roberto, I have an address for you on Chapman Drive in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Chapman Street.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's in Lapucci.
All right. How long have you been there?
My whole life, sir.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir. Your Social Security disability.
Okay. All right. On the meth, I'll set your bond at 1,000. On the paraphernalia at 500. On the weapon at 1,000, and the resisting at 500. So your total is 3,000. I will have you back in court on the 20th of July. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Brett Kerr. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/20/94.
Brett, I have 3 charges today: possession of controlled substance, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, he has a prior petty theft from 2014.
That's it?
Yes.
All right. And Brett, I have an address for you on Spring Hill Drive. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
A little over a year and a half.
You have a
About
job?
2 years.
Do you have a job these
Yes,
days?
sir. Yes, sir.
What do you do?
A1 pest control.
Set your bond on the controlled substance at 1,000, on the marijuana and the paraphernalia at 500 each, so your total is 2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 20th of July. They may have told you the 24th. The right day is the 20th. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Adam Rickard. Morning, Adam. What's your date of birth?
7475, sir.
Adam, you're here on an assault being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. State, what can you tell me?
Judge, he has a significant history. He has, going from back to 1995, possession of alcohol by a minor. He has resisting without violence in 95. He has several burnt structures and grand thefts from 95 through 96, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia, resist without violence. Another grand theft going up to 99. He burnt dwelling in 2001, grand theft in 2001.
Okay. Nothing since then?
He went to prison.
Okay.
So, no.
All right. Adam, I got an address for you on Main Street here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About a year.
All right. Does Miss Carter live there as well?
Yes, sir, she does.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I work at a labor temp place.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000, Adam. Condition of the bond, however, is that you have no contact with Miss Carter. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. You don't go where she lives, you don't go where she works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask that the charges be dropped. She may tell them she does not want to pursue this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you to jail today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could your bond here get revoked, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as the home on Main Street is concerned, as long as she stays there, you'll have to stay someplace else. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to stay. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you get your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 18th of July. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Robert Tokar. Morning, Robert. What's your date of birth?
11/08/98.
Robert, I have 3 charges this morning. I have an ag assault. I have battery on a person 65 or older and a battery. All of them are domestic in nature. There's probable cause for all those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
Judge, I don't see a prior record.
Okay. And sir, did you wish to be heard? Do you just want to see what happens? Are you Mr. Yednick?
Okay.
Are you Yednick?
No.
Okay. So you're not a victim in this case?
No.
Okay, very good. All right, Robert, I have an address for you on Fairview Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
4 years.
Okay. And Ms. Tokar and Mr. Yednick, do they live there as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
Okay. Now set your bonds at $1,000 in each count. That's a total of $3,000. Condition of those bonds is that you'll have no contact with Ms. Tokar or Mr. Yednick. Did you hear me explain what no contact means a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Also got to hold you till 4 o'clock so that if either or both of them wish to serve you with an injunction, they know where to find you. Have you back in court on the 20th of July. Obviously, if they stay at Fairview, either one of them stays at Fairview, you've got to stay someplace else. You can go by one time to collect your things, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office before you go. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, folks.